Entrepreneurs aren't born, they are made through failures, breakthroughs, and relentless hustle. Welcome to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, 100 plus podcast stations. This is where visionaries share their unfiltered journeys, strategies, and game-changing insights. Your success story starts here. This is more than just a show, it's a movement. Watch, learn, and elevate. So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show, season 2 on E360 TV, Roku, Samsung, LG, all the various platforms that we are on. And today I have a very special guest. And I'd like to quickly introduce them to you because I feel it's very important for us to give you a little bit background of who the guest is, because I do work with her and I really like her energy, how she talks, how she communicates, and I really feel today's episode is going to be a lot less about just education, but a lot more about mindset, coaching, and making sure that we are on the right path with what we are doing. The episode today takes a deep dive into a theme that's crucial for entrepreneurs right now, that realization is empty without actualization. Joining us today is Susannah Tarakini Weaver, a transformational coach, meditation mentor, and writer who has spent over 2 decades guiding individuals through integrative somatic trauma therapies, mindfulness, neuroscience, and relational coaching. She empowers leaders and entrepreneurs today to embody resilience, unlock essence, strength, and transform not just how they think, but how they live. And this is exactly what we're going to do today. So welcome on the stage, Susannah. Hi, Susannah. How are you?
Hi, Rohit. It's a delight to be here with you.
Really love what you do, Susannah, but you know what? Our audience needs to know what you do. Okay, so could you give us a little deep dive into how you started, a little bit background, and then we can take it from there.
Yeah, so I've been working in the field of somatics for almost 25 years. And it started with yoga and with body work. And that led to meditation, and that led to teaching. And then I started coaching holistically, just as an organic evolution of all of that work with the body. And I really enjoyed it. And I realized I was really good at it. So I obtained some coaching certifications, and I decided to go a more holistic direction. So I went into the field of somatic mind-body coaching. And so it's a little bit different than traditional coaching, although I do still coach executives and leaders and teams. It's just, instead of just using the mind, we're also using the body as a gateway, as an entry point for discovery and for change. Because we are embodied beings and we're relational. And so this old paradigm of things just being mental, it doesn't work anymore. It's actually kind of breaking. And neuroplasticity and ancient Eastern knowledge, give us really great data and evidence of that. So it's kind of the new frontier. It's an exciting place to be working right now.
Great. Also, Susannah, let's take a deeper dive into, like you said, realization is empty without actualization. So what does that mean for entrepreneurs who are constantly learning, but not always changing? And this is a dynamic world, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're constantly learning and not taking the time to integrate that, to digest that or assimilate that, then it's really difficult to actualize anything. And so without actualizing the new things you're learning, you can't really embody it. And so the embody piece ends up being the keystone. It ends up being the bridge between our insights and our expression, or our realization and our actualization.
And in saying that, Susannah, so many leaders collect knowledge but struggle to embody it. And why do you think embodiment is the missing piece to most transformation today?
Why do I think embodiment's the missing piece? It's like when we feel disconnected from ourselves and our bodies, we know we're not walking the talk. So that's our first like red light, and when we feel that way, because we always feel it in our body. And so when we have a purpose or a goal, if it's not connected to our why, then usually we're a little bit disembodied. So if the drive is to produce or to go and reach a higher and higher bar, sometimes it loses the connection to our why. So there's a way that we can move forward and move toward what we care about, even if we're under pressure. And for me, this is the heart of how I mentor and coach.
Absolutely. And according to you, Susannah, how can entrepreneurs know when they're stuck in mental realization versus truly practicing actualization? Like entrepreneurs these days, they're stuck, right? They're just going in circles, most of them. So when they're stuck in mental realization versus truly practicing actualization, how do you know about it? Like, how can you get to know? And how you train and coach people around it?
Well, I give them a practice. So we get a whole new tool to implement, and we use the practice to digest any new learning. And we give the practice enough time and space that we can cross that bridge. And so whatever we're learning and realizing, we then have this opportunity to start putting it into action. And so we're igniting both parts of the brain. We're creating a communication in the brain. But this is also, there's a cascade for how this feels in the body.
Absolutely. And what I've also seen is at this day and age, most entrepreneurs, most people, right, they're just going in circles, and they're addicted to distraction, most of them. So if you found someone, right, who's addicted to distraction and who is not realizing their greatest potential, what would you say to that person?
It's a red flag. It's your essence or your strength calling out to get your attention. So if you're constantly distracted and you can't be with yourself, or you feel like you're running in circles, it is an invitation to come back home to your breath, to your body, and to why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you're running in circles and you get caught there, then you're not connected to your purpose. Because when we're truly connected to our purpose and we are embodying that energy, it's not so easy to shake us off center or to get us stuck moving in that wheel.
Okay. And in saying that, we have to run into a quick break right now, Susannah. But when we come back, we will discuss with you science, somatics, and spirituality. So this is going to be a very important session when we come back. So I'll see you right after this break.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit Soni, and today we have our special guest Susannah Welcome back to the stage, Susannah. So before we went in the break, we kind of understood a little bit more about realization, actualization for entrepreneurs with what's happening in their daily lives, Susannah, right? So now we want to talk about you work at the intersection of neuroscience, somatic therapies, and spirituality. How do these three connect to fuel transformation in today's day and age?
Well, there's a movement. There's an inherent movement and energy that really sustains and inspires the body-mind continuum, right? And so we can harness that energy when we know how to rest in alignment. And so we do practices. We do practices to center. We do practices to ground. And it's also about allowing enough space in our lives for this work. So when we allow a little space, a little white space, that's where we get our more energy. That's where the creativity gets ignited, and it fuels the transformation in a kind of effortless ease and flow.
Great. And in saying that, I'll also, understand that most, like people don't know what transformation actually looks like. With the people that I've worked with, I've seen that transformation means just talking to yourself, understanding where you are, and then going through those uncomfortable situations consistently so you can finally become comfortable in overcoming them. And most people, they need someone who can guide them. They need someone who can support them during those moments, during those problems. And we as coaches, you as a coach, how do you handle those situations? And how do you help people in your coaching, if you were to explain a little bit about it, in overcoming their obstacles? So if you can just expand on that a bit.
Yeah. So, I use somatic therapies, and I also use the work of positive intelligence. So this is mental fitness work. And in that style of work, we do PQ. And PQ is really valuable if you don't have a somatic practice or you don't have a meditation practice. It's one of the most effective ways to train the brain to open up the space for neuroplasticity, because you are doing it in short micro practices, just like twice a day, 2 or 3 minutes twice a day. That's all it takes to start rewiring the brain. And so when our somatic embodied awareness that we access with PQ, for example, you can also access this through training yourself mindfulness. When we access that awareness, we have more availability to sensing and feeling. And I got to tell you, people gravitate to leaders who are really connected to their bodies and their hearts. You can feel the energy. It builds trust,
I get it. Like I see that every day. Like that energy just speaks to volume, right? And that volume keeps increasing, and then you just try a little bit extra, and then you don't quit. And that just shows who a true leader is. And we separate contenders from pretenders, because a lot of people are in the business of pretending versus actually doing. And I see that. And we want to make sure we tie up and we talk to people who are the right ones for us, right? This is the key.
Well, going back to the PQ, what's so lovely about it is it helps you move from the limbic system, from the back brain, into the middle prefrontal cortex. And this is so important for decision making and for leadership, because it taps this creative, big perspective, big picture thinking. And the limbic system, it governs our emotions, it governs our patterns that we're, our habits of self-sabotage. And so when we use a simple practice to kind of move into this sensing and feeling aspect of the brain, the body immediately regulates. The nervous system calms, centers, and you start to inhabit your body and your breath. So that's how that's one of the tools I use to work with people when I'm working with them.
And I've seen that, right? I work with you. I see how and your nature and how you help your clients, it's just too good. And I feel like a lot more people need to realize and need to learn the things that you share. Could you also share with us a little bit more about like you as a coach and any upcoming programs or any upcoming things that you're doing that can help our audience grow? If it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Rohit, I'm working with men right now. I do work with both men and women, but right now I'm primarily working with men. And I've got a embodied masculine coaching program that begins at the end of October. I also have a mental fitness mastermind that begins at the end of October. So both of these programs are about 7 weeks, and it's a really effective way to ignite your neuroplasticity and to develop a practice and to have accountability and support.
Absolutely. Yeah, so whoever is watching the show, I'll just drop the link on how you can connect with Susannah, and then you can maybe try and have a call with her and see where you're at, have an assessment session, a discovery session, and then you can take it from there. I would highly suggest her coaching to everyone who's watching the show. In saying that, Susanna, before we run into another break, uh, you have spoken about shifting from the limbic brain to the frontal brain. Why is this shift so important in leadership and decision making, according to you?
Yeah, so when you're in this survival part of the brain, you're usually drained or kind of hijacked by your saboteurs or by emotions, or by the negative manifestation of some of your character, your gifts. And so this move into the middle prefrontal cortex, this allows you not just to calm and regulate in the body, but to access your strengths, right? And so this brings it into the realm of embodiment. And so there are underlying strengths that, say, for example, overperformance or hyper achievement, the archetype of the hyperachiever, or even perfectionism, like those traits are actually hijacking the strength of the ability to be really, really grounded and detail oriented and goal oriented and see things through. Sometimes it's pulling some of that energy away from that ability to be articulate and to, because like the strength of perfectionism is actually this unique ability to bring out the detail and the wisdom and the alignment or the beauty in something. But if we're stuck in a loop where the brain actually mistakes survival for connection, if we're stuck in that loop, then we project that onto the people around us. And so I see a lot of men blowing up their relationships when some of these strengths are not in their strength, but that are in more of a self-sabotage.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I've also seen is that in terms of alignment, right? Uh, Alignment is the key in terms of everything that you do. Like, I can give you one example. I have a team. If it's not aligned, no one's going to succeed. If I have a client, I mean, if we are not tuning, nothing's going to work. If we have relationships and if we are not aligned in our values, at least 50% of them, nothing's going to work out then, right? So there has to be a sweet spot in relationships and business and life that keeps you going, it keeps you steady, keeps you where you want to be. In saying that, Suzanne, you also often talk about the marriage of mind to heart. How does this union shape creativity, communication, and resilience for entrepreneurs?
It's such a good question. Yeah, that union between the head and the heart really allows for us to feel the rhythm of the body and our own energy so that we're not cut off in the silo of mind, in the realm of overdoing or controlling. And so for some people, this might just feel like rest. For some people, it feels like space, more spaciousness. And for others, it really gives them an opportunity to tune into self-compassion. And so, whichever one of those resonates with you, each one is needed to open the doorway into this shift and into an alignment. And that's practice, And so when the heart and the mind are connected, it's usually because we have a practice. It doesn't have to be long practice. You could just do micro practices every day.
Great. We have to run into another quick break, Susannah. But when we come back, Susannah will talk to you about her personal story and the yoga of relationship. So when we come back, we'll talk and go into a different stratosphere of understanding and learning yoga, relationship, and personal story of Susannah and how she's where she is today, right? So I'll see you right after this short break, everyone.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empower Entrepreneur TV show. This is your host Rohit, and my guest is also here with me, Susannah Weaver. So Susannah, before we went into the break, we also talked about marriage of mind of heart, right? Now it's time to talk about some of the breakthroughs that have changed and shaped your life. So could you share with us some of them? Those big moments that turned everything around for you.
Well, I think the one that's really relevant right now is one that supports this work with the embodied masculine. And our personal breakthroughs are always so deeply affected by the people we love and by the people we share space with or intimacy or partnership with. And so both my husband and I, we have long-standing somatic practices. I'm a yogi. He's a martial arts practitioner and teacher, and we have our practices, but we both get caught in our patterns. And when I started working with positive intelligence, I took him through the PQ mental fitness program, and he didn't love it. He didn't want to do it all the time. And so, but the beauty, this is a testament kind of to that work, because it slowly started to affect both of us and our interactions with each other. So we also meditate every day together. But even so, we were still getting caught in some of our patterns. And we went through a very, very difficult time the last few years, as many people have. And he was laid off from a job about 9 months ago. And he went into a deep survival mode, some fear, some depression. And we had even talked about getting a divorce. Well, something happened where I don't like to call it a breakdown. It's always a breakthrough when something happens where you're cracked open and all of a sudden life changes. And he actually had a near-death experience. So it was a kind of awakening experience that opened him up to what was really important. And it literally just brought home the power of love and having no resistance to yourself inside or to anyone around you. And there had been some division between us, even with different political perspectives, and all of that kind of dissolved right away. And so this opening allowed us to actually start choosing to embody changing our patterns together. So this is, I could talk about my breakthroughs throughout my life, but for me right now, this one is really tender and really precious because I'd always longed for spiritual partnership. And for me, this is what it means. It means to tend to each other's body, mind, and spirit. But we can't do that for someone else. We can only do that for ourselves. But when we do that for ourselves and we come together with someone who's also doing that, it's a really a powerful way to be in a relationship.
Absolutely. And in saying about your coaching, the thing that happened with your husband, he's also your ideal client profile, right? How did his breakthrough illustrate the power of this work? And like, how does it resonate with most men like me, anyone else, right?
Yeah.
Because that's
his breakthrough has taught me how needed this work is. For many years, I worked with women's wisdom and the feminine, and that's a little bit more available to women, just from a evolutionary biological perspective, because we care and nurture and we also birth babies. But what's so cool about moving from the limbic part of the brain to the middle prefrontal cortex is it opens up empathy. And this is the key, right? This empathy and compassion. And a lot of people don't want to talk about empathy and compassion when we talk about neuroplasticity or mental fitness. But I got to say, it's the heart of it all. And that's how the mind marries to the heart, is when we open up that space. And so there's a deeper availability to presence, to connection, to communication, right? And this is what we're here for. We're relational beings. We're here to unfold our purpose and to find connection and to experience love.
And love is what sets everything apart, right? Love is what unites people. It does divide as well sometimes, right? But the thing is, the sooner we understand the power of positive intelligence and having someone who can guide you, having someone who can support you, and an expert like you who can come and change people's life, the better it is, because people need more people like you, Susannah. That's for sure. And in saying that, we really need to talk about this, right? You describe your coaching as a yoga of relationship and communication. What does that mean, and how can entrepreneurs apply that in leading their teams or partnerships?
Yeah, it's just another expression of marrying the mind and the heart. And so when we're in that, yoga means to yoke or to unite. And so when our heart and our mind is connected, we're more embodied. And so again, we're more available to presence. And so this is what our teams need. This is what our partners need. This is what we need. And so when we have that, we also are more availability to problem solving, to our creativity, and we also enjoy life more, right? So this is the yoga of relationship and entrepreneurs can begin to work with that when they realize the importance of a practice and the benefit of a practice. Because when they start to transform themselves, I'm sure you've heard about mirror neurons. It's one of the hallmarks of neuroplasticity. But when they change, that change ripples out. So each person they engage with can feel that inside of them. And then it kind of lights up that person that they are, speaking with. It's a really beautiful way that we can move through the world and affect change, right? Just by changing ourselves.
Yeah, and in saying that we have to change the world, we have to run into a quick break as well. And when we come back, we'll actually share with you the next steps of how you can change your life and you can transform and be the being that you want to be and you deserve to be. So see you right out of this quick break.
As a coach or a consultant, your focus should be on transforming lives, not struggling to get clients. That's where my company Amplify Media comes in to help you not just scale your business, but to consistently give you the revenue that your business deserves. We actually build a done-for-you lead generation acquisition system that brings in clients consistently so that you don't have to worry about where the next client is coming in. You focus on the most important thing that is scaling your business and impacting your own coaching clients. From high-impact marketing and scroll-stopping content to expert funnel creation, we take your business from point A to point B with precision. Coaches and consultants worldwide trust the company. We have over 277 plus clients, case studies all around the world, help tons and tons of businesses scale. So your next level is waiting. Let's make your brand unforgettable and visit the website today. I would love to offer you a free strategy session to share with you how we can help scale your business. Thank you.
So hello everyone, welcome back to the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. It's time for the main event. Let me have my guest back on the screen. Hi Susannah. Awesome. So in saying that, this is the last segment of the show, but the most important things are to be shared right now. We'll have a quick rapid fire at the very end. Okay. But this episode is all about breaking misconceptions in coaching and entrepreneurship. There's a big myth, Susannah, that coaches solve their clients' problem. What does that misconception need to break? And how do you frame the partnership instead? Is it just about the client problems or is it something else beyond that?
No, I mean, for me, I frame the partnership as a co-creative relationship. And so this really means setting up the terms of accountability from the get-go. And so I hold the men I work with accountable to their inner work. And if a man is invested in changing, then he commits and he's willing to integrate daily practices. This means he has to use them. He has to follow through with them. That's the part I can't do for someone. So I don't guarantee a change. I partner with people to move towards change in service to what they care about, in service to their mission. And I teach people how to do that. I ask the questions, I provide the container and the space to nurture the process, and they show up, but they have to be all in.
Absolutely. And according to you, Susannah, you have spoken about the trend of self-optimization and the allure of the designer mind. Why is that incomplete without presence and practice?
Well, I'm sure you can relate, Rohit. I mean, a lot of men can self-optimize, but they can't slow down or stop. And so, I mean, have you ever had the experience where you just are bored and you have no phone? You're just drifting or maybe walking, and then all of a sudden you realize a solution to a problem, or you have a creative insight, right?
Susannah, nature walks help me a lot. You just go into the nature and, it just gives you the answer. You just go out, leave everything.
So that's good. You create the space for that in your life. You know the value of that. That's really good. We need that white space for the sake of rest and creativity. Yeah, absolutely. I do see a lot of men self-optimize and sometimes they're looking for something deeper. And I think most of the time they don't know what it is. And so this is where I come in, because you can create a designer mind, but it doesn't create lasting change because it doesn't give this deeper fulfillment. And so self-optimization, because it's tied to overperformance, or that perfectionist or hyperachiever archetype, when those patterns are pushing and going, it eclipses that time for white space. It eclipses that time for just being. And so this is where the practice comes in to unwind, to recharge. And that's where we tend to presence, because we are what we practice.
Absolutely. And in saying that, we are what we practice, is how can entrepreneurs live this truth in the way they can lead their business and life just by practicing what they are, right? What we are is what we practice.
Yeah. So it's about getting intimate with yourself, like knowing your patterns, knowing your limits, and having the bravery to work with that and to change it. And so Neuroplasticity is a powerful work for that. Somatic coaching is also powerful work for that. So I use both of those in my coaching. Know your why, not who you are, not the next bar to reach, but know why you are and why you serve. So, or why you want to change a particular pattern. That with the entrepreneurs I work with, we usually build a declaration first thing. And we discover what they're committed to and what that's in service to and why, what they care about, and so we use the practice to support that. And when they're anchored in that, they are invested in change and it's a kind of change that's anchored to their values and to their vision. And so that also opens up the willingness to do things differently, I find, which is also really powerful.
Yep, it is powerful, that's for sure. Final big question. What legacy do you want your work to leave, Susannah, and what advice would you share with entrepreneurs tuning in today on this episode?
Well, legacy is the future, and I'm a moment-to-moment kind of girl. I want to teach people presence. And so just learning how to pause, how to listen and feel opens us up to presence. It opens us up to the presence of love. Because I believe that's what we're here for. And so I would love my legacy to be learning how to help support others, learning how to love and be loved in a deeper way. And that their value comes from being, not doing.
Absolutely. Okay, in saying that, we have one more thing to go, right, Susannah? Okay, that is a quick fire rapid round. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready for it.
Okay. Book or teacher that most shaped your journey?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, my spiritual teacher, Aravinda Hamadra. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's great. Meditation or movement, what grounds you more?
They both do.
Okay. No one answer on it?
No.
If you would. Okay, that's right.
I never skip meditation, but I practice yoga and meditation, and I do little somatic practices. Yeah, this is really what helps me manage working hard, being an entrepreneur, being at the computer. I have to.
A word that best describes the sacred feminine to you.
Love, presence, compassion.
Okay, 3 words. If you could give your younger self one piece of advice in 5 words or less, what would that be?
Oh, your wounds will become your gold so that you learn the alchemy of healing and transformation yourself so you can serve others. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, the show is technically done, but before we leave, right? Susannah, anything that you want to share with the audience in terms of how they can work with you, how they can connect with you, how they can reach out to you if you can?
Yeah, let's just jump on a call. It's about the yoga relationship. So I would like to meet you if you are at all curious to explore a little bit more about coaching, about what it would look like to have a practice. And I can share a little bit more about the mental fitness container, about the embodied masculine container, and we can discover what might support you in your leadership or in your relationships.
Absolutely. That's right. In saying that, Susannah, it was a pleasure to have you on our show today. And I learned a lot, honestly speaking. And I believe whoever was watching the show, they've learned a lot. And guys, if you really want to, the one thing I always say, if you think you need help, go out, reach out, ask for it. Tell somebody, call somebody, text somebody. There's nothing more courageous you can do.
Yeah.
Honestly, just talk. And if you need a coach, if you need an accountability partner, if you need someone who can guide you, take you to the next level, connect. And if it's your calling today, connect with Susannah. I would really like you to, because she's an expert in an industry who is focusing on one of the biggest pain points for men, at least. And I'll drop all her contact details below on how you can connect with her. But make sure you do. In October, end of October, something big she's doing. And if you're a part of it, it would be great for you in terms of your overall life growth. And I really want our viewers to get something each episode. And that's something I would really want to offer you.
And let's invite them to the mastermind too on October 9th.
Absolutely. Yeah. The masterclass that's coming up. Yeah. In saying that, thanks a lot, Susannah, for being on the show again. I'll see you soon. Maybe in another season. It was season 2. Maybe in season 3, we can get you again and learn a lot from you. And thanks a lot for being here today.
Thank you, Rohit. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. So that's another wrap of the Empowered Entrepreneur TV show. I hope you loved it. And I learned a lot from Susannah today. And I believe if I learn, you will also learn, right? Because I know my audience, right? Okay. If you like the episode, do share with someone who might need it today to hear it. And let's make sure this movement keeps on happening. The movement to change, the movement of courage, the movement of making sure that you are going to the next level. I'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, again, on every Thursday.
Success isn't for the chosen few. It's for those who choose to show up, take action, and never back down. This is the Empower Entrepreneur, hosted by Rohit Soni, airing across 185 countries, 26 plus TV networks, and 100 plus podcast stations. You've heard the strategies, you've seen the mindset. Now it's time to execute. I'll see you next week, every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Go, build, dominate. Until next time, stay empowered.